Time, the one thing every man thinks he has enough of until it's gone. You can lose money and make it back. You can lose a job and find another. But when you lose time, it never returns. It doesn't pause for you. It doesn't ask if you're ready. It just moves relentlessly, silently, every second of every day. The sad truth is that most men don't understand how expensive time really is. They treat it like it's infinite, like it's cheap. They waste it on arguments, on endless scrolling, on waiting for motivation to appear out of thin air. But here's the cold fact: time is the most ruthless currency in existence. You don't control it, you can't earn more of it, and the universe doesn't refund what you waste. Every second that passes is a transaction. You're paying for something whether you realize it or not. You're either investing that second into your future or you're spending it on comfort and regret. That's how life works. Every man is trading time for something. The difference between the great and the forgotten is what they trade it for. I've seen men in their 20s waste entire years thinking they have forever. And I've seen men in their 60s suddenly wake up begging for one more shot. But the years they wasted, they never come back. They vanish. That's the game time plays. It gives no warning, no mercy. Think about this: the day you were born, a countdown began. You don't know when it ends, but it's ticking. Every breath, every sunrise, every night you go to bed saying, "I'll start tomorrow." That clock keeps ticking. You might not hear it, but it's there. And one day, you'll feel at that moment when you realize you don't have as much time left as you thought. Most men only start valuing time after they've thrown it away. They look back at their 20s, their 30s, their 40s, and realize they traded decades for distractions. The nights spent drinking, the endless hours of entertainment, the years spent talking about plans that never happened. Time doesn't care about excuses. It just keeps moving, cold and fair. You know what's crazy? Every man has 24 hours in a day. The billionaires, the fighters, the thinkers, the legends, they don't get more time than you. They just treat theirs differently. They treat every minute like a soldier on a battlefield. They don't let it wander. They command it. They make it count. When I say time is currency, I don't mean it metaphorically, I mean it literally. You pay for your habits with time. You pay for your laziness with time. You pay for indecision with time. You might not see the price now, but one day you'll feel it. You'll wake up realizing you've spent the most valuable currency of your life on things that never mattered. The world will tell you to relax, to take it easy, to slow down. And sure, rest is necessary, but most men aren't resting, they're wasting. There's a difference. Rest refuels you. Wasting drains you. When you rest, you recover. When you waste, you decay. Look at the man who works with purpose. He wakes up early, not because he wants to, but because he respects time. He knows that every morning is a chance to buy progress. He trades his hours for growth. That's what separates him from the average man. The average man spends time like a gambler at a slot machine, pulling levers, hoping something good happens. The wise man invests it like a strategist with precision, intent, and discipline. And time doesn't negotiate. It doesn't wait for your mood, your excuses, or your fears. It doesn't stop because you had a bad week or a heartbreak. It doesn't slow down when you lose motivation. It doesn't pause while you figure things out. Time doesn't care if you're tired. It just moves. And that's why it's ruthless, because it never feels sorry for you. Men lose themselves when they forget this. They get trapped in cycles of someday I'll get fit. Someday I'll start that business. Someday I'll fix my life. But someday is a lie told by the comfort of now. The truth is, you only have today. You always have only today. That's it. Time doesn't respect potential. It respects action. You could be the smartest man alive, but if you keep wasting hours, you'll lose to the man who moves now. Because the man who acts understands what every real man eventually learns. That time is not your friend. It's your fiercest opponent. It challenges you every day to use it wisely. And every day, most men lose that battle. The question isn't how much time you have left. The question is, how much of it are you willing to waste before you finally realized it's the only thing that truly matters? Comfort is the drug that most men overdose on without ever realizing it. It doesn't come in a bottle, it doesn't destroy you overnight, but it creeps in quietly, one soft pillow, one skipped workout, one lazy morning at a time. comfort whispers in your ear, telling you that you deserve to relax, that you've done enough, that tomorrow is a better day to start. And before you know it, tomorrow becomes next week becomes next year, and suddenly you've lost a decade doing nothing that really mattered. Every man dreams of success, of freedom, of strength, but the truth is, you can't have those things if you keep choosing comfort, because comfort kills the hunger that drives progress. It kills discipline, it kills ambition, and worst of all, it kills belief. When life becomes too easy, your instincts start to rust. You stop pushing, you stop chasing, and eventually, you stop becoming. Most men think danger is what destroys them, but no, danger sharpens you. It wakes you up, it reminds you that you're alive. Comfort, on the other hand, puts you to sleep while convincing you you're awake. You sit in your warm home, scrolling, watching others live their lives, and you call it resting. But deep down, you know it's avoidance. You're not resting, you're hiding. You're hiding from the grind, from the challenge, from the very struggle that would make you great. You were not born to be comfortable. Every muscle in your body, every neuron in your brain evolved to fight, to adapt, to conquer. Your ancestors didn't survive by sitting still, they survived by enduring pain, by waking up early, by facing hunger, by pushing through fear. And now, centuries later, modern men have replaced that battle with convenience. You don't have to hunt for food, you don't have to fight for safety, you don't even have to walk if you don't want to. Comfort has turned you into a domesticated version of what you were meant to be. The irony is that every man says he wants to be strong, but he keeps choosing the very thing that makes him weak. You want power, you want confidence, you want freedom. Then stop chasing ease, because everything that builds you, everything that transforms you lives on the other side of discomfort. Growth is not found in the soft corners of life. It's found in the pain you try to avoid. You don't build muscle without tension. You don't build discipline without resistance. You don't build resilience without failure. The man who spends his days avoiding pain ends up living a life that's full of it: regret, weakness, mediocrity. Comfort might feel safe now, but it's a slow death. It's the kind of death that looks peaceful from the outside, but inside, your spirit is suffocating. You ever wonder why men lose their fire as they get older? It's because they trade challenge for convenience. They stop setting goals. They stop taking risks. They build their own cages and call them comfort zones. And the longer you stay inside, the weaker you become. Not just physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. Comfort makes your mind soft. It makes you believe that struggle is unnecessary, when in truth, struggle is the only thing that keeps you alive. The hardest thing for a man to admit is that he's become comfortable, because comfort feels harmless. It doesn't slap you in the face, it seduces you. It tells you to take one day off, to skip one workout, to delay one task. It tells you you deserve it. And you listen because it sounds nice. But what comfort really means is stay small, stay the same, stay stuck. Every day you choose comfort, you're voting against your own potential. You're telling your body and mind that average is enough. You're giving away your edge, your purpose, your masculinity. And the worst part, you won't even notice it happening until you wake up one morning wondering where your drive went, where your confidence went, where that fire inside you disappeared, but it didn't disappear. You smothered it with comfort. Because the truth is, comfort doesn't care about your dreams. It only cares about keeping you safe, even if that safety costs you your greatness. Comfort will hand you a soft life, but it will steal your soul in the process. It will make you forget that life is supposed to be hard sometimes, that it's the hard that makes it meaningful. When you embrace discomfort, life expands. When you chase comfort, life shrinks. And the men who understand that, the ones who choose the harder path when everyone else takes the easy one, those are the men who win. Those are the men who live with purpose, not regret. Those are the men who leave a mark on the world instead of just passing through it. Pain is the teacher every man tries to avoid, but ends up learning from anyway. It's the one thing that doesn't lie to you. It doesn't flatter you. It doesn't comfort you. And it doesn't care about your excuses. Pain strips away the illusions. It shows you exactly who you are and what you're made of. You can't hide from it. You can't fake your way through it. And that's why it's powerful. Because pain is pure truth. Every strong man you've ever admired has been through pain. Not once, not twice, constantly. The difference is they didn't run from it. They used it. They built from it. They learned how to convert it into something valuable. That's what purpose really is. Pain that's been transformed. Pain is the raw material. Purpose is what you forge from it. You don't find purpose when life is easy. You find it when everything hurts and you still decide to move forward. You find it when you lose what you thought you couldn't live without, and you keep breathing. You find it when you've failed so many times that giving up would make sense, but something inside you refuses to quit. That's where purpose lies, in the suffering you survive and the lessons you choose to extract from it. Most men spend their lives trying to avoid pain, but that's like trying to avoid gravity. It's part of existence. It's built into the system. Every time you feel pain, it's your body and mind saying, there's something here to learn, something that needs to change. Pain is feedback, not punishment. It's your greatest signal. It tells you when you're weak, when you're off course, when you're wasting your potential. But here's the problem. We live in a world that tells men to numb themselves, to hide their pain, bury it, distract from it. You feel lost, so you scroll. You feel lonely, so you drink. You feel stuck, so you pretend you're fine. But you're not. You're suffocating because you've silenced the very force that was trying to wake you up. Every time you escape pain, you delay your purpose. You postpone growth. When you finally stop running, when you face the pain instead of avoiding it, everything begins to change. That's the moment you stop being a victim and start becoming a man of vision. Because pain gives you clarity. It burns away what doesn't matter. It shows you what's real. You start to see your weaknesses not as curses, but as instruction signs of where you need to grow stronger. Think about it. The gym only works because of pain. You lift until it burns, and then your muscles grow. You push until it hurts, and then your body adapts. Life works the same way. Emotional pain, financial pain, mental pain, it's all training. Every hardship you face is a rep, every setback a weight, every failure a workout for your soul. If you can endure it, you come out tougher, sharper, wiser. But if you run from it, you stay fragile. You become one of those men who break easily. The kind who panic when life gets difficult because they've never learned to face struggle. Pain isn't your enemy, it's your forge. It's where the weak parts of you melt so the strong ones can be shaped. The man who understands pain understands power. Because once you've been broken and rebuilt, you stop fearing life. You've seen the worst and survived it, and survival gives you an edge. You start living differently with purpose, with direction, with hunger. You stop chasing comfort and start chasing meaning. Because meaning is born from what you've endured. There's a moment in every man's life when pain shows up and asks, what are you going to do about it? That's the crossroad. Some men crumble, others rise. And it's not the situation that decides it, it's the mindset. The man who sees pain as a curse will drown in it. The man who sees pain as a challenge will rise above it. That's the difference between mediocrity and mastery. Most of the time, you don't even realize that your pain is preparing you. You think life is falling apart when it's actually falling into place. That heartbreak that shattered you, it taught you self-respect. That failure that embarrassed you, it taught you persistence. That loneliness that nearly broke you, it taught you independence. Every wound you carry hides a lesson. But you only uncover it when you stop feeling sorry for yourself long enough to listen. Pain isn't just part of the journey, it is the journey. Without it, there's no growth, no discipline, no purpose. Pain gives you a reason to rise, to fight, to create something meaningful out of the chaos. You'll never know how far you can go until pain forces you to take that extra step. That's how men are built, not through comfort, not through ease, but through the fire of adversity that turns ordinary men into extraordinary ones. Motivation is a spark, it burns bright, but it burns out fast. Discipline is the fire that keeps burning long after the excitement is gone. Every man starts his journey full of motivation. He watches a video, reads a quote, feels inspired, and thinks that's enough. But motivation is emotional. It depends on how you feel, and feelings lie. They come and go. Some days you wake up ready to conquer the world, and some days you can barely get out of bed. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. Discipline does what needs to be done regardless. That's why the difference between the men who talk and the men who achieve always comes down to discipline. Motivation gets you started. Discipline keeps you going when every part of you wants to quit. The problem with motivation is that it's temporary pleasure disguised as purpose. It feels good, but it doesn't last. It's like a sugar rush, quick, addictive, but empty. Discipline is different. It's the decision to act consistently even when your mind screams for comfort. The truth is, discipline is not glamorous. It's not exciting, it's boring, repetitive, and often lonely. It means doing the same thing every day, even when no one is watching, even when there's no applause, no dopamine, no instant reward. It's waking up early when your body wants to sleep. It's sticking to your diet when temptation whispers. It's saying no to distractions when your friends say, "Was." Discipline is silent, but that's why it's powerful, because real growth doesn't happen in noise. It happens in the quiet moments when you choose consistency over chaos. You can't rely on motivation to change your life, because motivation is like the weather, unpredictable. Some days it's sunny, some days it's stormy, and if you only move when the weather feels perfect, you'll never move far. Discipline is the armor you wear when the storm hits. It keeps you steady. It keeps you moving forward when the excitement fades. It's the backbone of every successful man, the one thing that separates the dreamers from the doers. Think about it. Every man who has ever built something great didn't do it because he felt motivated every day. He did it because he refused to break his routine. Champions aren't built on motivation, they're built on discipline. The boxer trains when he's sore. The entrepreneur works when he's tired. The soldier marches even when he's scared. That's discipline, doing what's necessary, not what's comfortable. And here's the truth that most people don't want to hear. Discipline feels hard in the beginning, but over time, it becomes freedom. When you master discipline, you stop being a slave to your emotions. You don't wait for the perfect moment because you create it. You don't chase motivation, you become your own engine. That's real strength, to move without needing to be pushed, to keep going when no one's watching. The problem is that society worships motivation. Everywhere you look, people chase that emotional high, get inspired, feel good, find your why. But feelings fade. What happens when the hype dies, when the gym is empty, when the excitement disappears? Most men quit. They start again next Monday, and again, and again. They live in cycles of starting and stopping because they never built the muscle of discipline. Motivation builds desire. Discipline builds results. Discipline is brutal honesty with yourself. It's looking in the mirror and saying, "I don't feel like it, but I'll do it anyway." It's not waiting for motivation to show up, it's showing up without it. Every time you act with discipline, you're rewiring your brain to trust yourself. You're proving to your mind that your word means something. That's where real confidence comes from keeping promises to yourself when no one else will know if you break them. The man who lives by motivation will always be at the mercy of his emotions. The man who lives by discipline becomes unstoppable because discipline doesn't depend on energy, mood, or circumstance. It's a code, a personal standard, a commitment to excellence that doesn't negotiate. Discipline turns average men into leaders. It turns chaos into structure. It turns potential into power. When you build discipline, you stop searching for motivation because you've already built momentum. You don't need to feel good to act, you act, and that's what makes you feel good. And over time, that repetition becomes identity. You stop trying to be disciplined, you become discipline itself. It's no longer something you do, it's who you are. Motivation will give you moments of excitement, but discipline gives you a lifetime of achievement. Motivation fades after a few hours. Discipline lasts forever. It's not about doing it when it's easy, it's about doing it because it's necessary. And when you learn that truth, when you start living it, that's when everything in your life begins to shift, because you stop waiting for the right time and start creating it through sheer consistency. Pain. Every man fears it, yet every great man is shaped by it. You can't escape pain no matter how comfortable your life becomes, no matter how much you try to protect yourself. It will find you. The difference between the strong and the weak isn't whether they feel pain, it's how they respond to it. Weak men run from pain. Strong men use it. They don't see pain as punishment, they see it as information. It's the universe's way of saying, here's where you need to grow. Most men spend their lives trying to avoid discomfort. They build soft routines, surround themselves with convenience, and call it peace. But what they've really done is build a cage. Comfort is the slowest killer of ambition. Pain, on the other hand, is the catalyst of transformation. Every scar, every failure, every heartbreak you've ever endured, they weren't there to break you. They were there to prepare you. Pain is the teacher that comfort can never be. The truth is, you will never understand who you really are until life hurts you. Until you lose something you thought you couldn't live without. Until you fail in front of others. Until you get rejected, embarrassed, defeated. Those are the moments that forge men into warriors. Because when you're stripped of everything, when you have no one to blame and nowhere to run, that's when you discover what's left inside. Pain shows you your limits and then dares you to go beyond them. The problem with modern men is that they've been told pain is something to be numbed. Society tells them to distract themselves, to self-soothe, to take it easy. But pain is not your enemy. Pain is your map. It shows you exactly where you're weak. The gym hurts, but that pain builds muscle. Discipline hurts, but that pain builds character. Rejection hurts, but that pain builds resilience. Every bit of progress you've ever made in life came from a moment where something hurt, but you did it anyway. Think about the hardest moments you faced, the nights you couldn't sleep, the times you felt lost, betrayed, or broken. You're still here. That means the pain didn't destroy you. It refined you. Every challenge you survived became a brick in your foundation. That's why the most dangerous man in any room is the one who suffered deeply and didn't let it make him bitter. Pain tried to kill him, but instead it carved wisdom into his soul. Most men want to feel strong without ever going through anything that tests their strength. But you can't build armor without heat. You can't sharpen a sword without friction. If life feels too easy, it means you're not growing. The gym of the mind works exactly like the gym of the body. Resistance builds power. When life pushes you, that's your training. Every setback, every insult, every moment of discomfort is another rep that's making you tougher. The truth is, pain is not the end, it's the beginning of mastery. The men who achieve greatness are not the ones who avoid pain, but the ones who sit with it, analyze it, and use it. They ask themselves, what is this trying to teach me? And then they apply it. Pain builds awareness. It burns away illusions. It exposes who you really are beneath the comfort, beneath the ego, beneath the excuses. You can't numb pain without also numbing purpose. The more you try to avoid suffering, the smaller your world becomes. You stop taking risks, stop chasing dreams, stop fighting for something bigger than yourself. Pain is the price of growth, and most men aren't willing to pay it. They want the reward without the sacrifice. But there's no crown without the cross, no success without struggle, no strength without suffering. When you start to see pain as an ally, everything changes. You stop asking, why me? And start saying, try me. Because now you understand pain doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're alive, you're evolving, you're becoming something greater than who you were yesterday. The world respects men who endure, not men who escape. Every time you push through pain, you earn a little more self-respect, a little more power, a little more freedom. Pain teaches you to be patient. It teaches you empathy, focus, and humility. It reminds you that nothing meaningful is achieved without sacrifice. And that's why men who have suffered are dangerous, because they've already faced the worst and survived it. They don't fear failure because they've lived through it. They don't seek comfort because they know comfort kills dreams. Pain gave them perspective, and that perspective makes them unstoppable. So when life hurts, don't rush to escape it. Sit in it, feel it, let it burn away the weakness, because pain is the one thing that will never lie to you. It will always tell you the truth where you are soft, where you are afraid, where you still need to grow. And once you stop running from it and start listening to it, that's when real transformation begins. There comes a point in every man's life when he has to decide what kind of man he truly wants to be, not the image he shows to others, not the mask he wears for approval, but the man he becomes when everything falls apart. Becoming unbreakable doesn't mean you'll never feel pain, fear, or doubt. It means you've trained your mind to stay calm when the world turns against you. It means you've built such inner strength that no setback, no insult, no betrayal can destroy your direction. It's about mastering yourself so deeply that even chaos can't shake your foundation. Most men never reach that point because they live in reaction mode. Something bad happens, they panic. Someone criticizes them, they break. One failure, and they lose all confidence. But unbreakable men are different. They've faced enough storms to know that emotions lie, panic solves nothing, and power comes from control. They've been hit, rejected, humiliated, and they kept moving. Because they learned that the world doesn't respect emotions, it respects result. Becoming unbreakable starts with one thing: control. Control over your mind, your emotions, and your actions. You have to stop being a slave to every feeling that passes through you. Most men destroy themselves because they react too quickly. They get angry and say something stupid. They get discouraged and quit. They get lonely and make weak choices. Every time you react without discipline, you hand over your power. You tell the world, I can be controlled. But when you learn to pause, to breathe, to think, to choose, that's when you start to rise above the noise. That's when people start to respect you differently. The unbreakable man doesn't need external validation. He doesn't chase approval. He's already validated by his own actions, his consistency, his purpose. He doesn't crumble when someone doubts him because he doesn't build his confidence on other people's opinions. He knows who he is, what he stands for, and what he's building. That kind of self-belief is forged, not given. You earn it through doing hard things, through keeping your word, through standing firm when it would be easier to fold. Unbreakable men understand that chaos is not the enemy, it's the test. Life will throw storms your way to see if you've built a house made of bricks or straw. Everyone looks strong when the weather is calm, but when the wind hits, when things go wrong, when people betray you, that's when your real strength is revealed. The man who has built discipline, purpose, and resilience doesn't panic in chaos. He becomes sharper, focused, alive, because he knows this is where he separates himself from the rest. And here's the truth: becoming unbreakable is not about being emotionless. It's about mastering emotion. You still feel pain, but it doesn't paralyze you. You still feel anger, but you channel it into action. You still feel fear, but you move forward anyway. Weak men wait for the fear to disappear before they act. Strong men act despite it. That's how you train mental toughness, by moving through the discomfort, not away from it. You can't become unbreakable without struggle. You can't become resilient without resistance. The strongest steel is forged in the hottest fire. Every disappointment, every failure, every dark night of your life is part of that forging process. It's the pressure that builds your power. Most men run from that pressure. They distract themselves with entertainment, with substances, with excuses. But those who face it, those who stand in the fire, they come out unrecognizable, sharper, wiser, untouchable. The world tries to break every man. It tests your patience, your morals, your loyalty, your endurance. It will take from you, betray you, and tempt you to give up. But if you can hold your ground when everything is collapsing, if you can look the storm in the eye and refuse to bend, you've already won. Because most men crumble long before they're truly defeated. The battle is lost in their mind before it even begins. But the unbreakable man doesn't lose himself to thoughts. He stays rooted in action. While others complain, he adapts. While others doubt, he decides. While others hesitate, he moves to become unbreakable. You must build habits that outlast motivation. Discipline that doesn't depend on energy. Faith that doesn't depend on results. You must become so certain of who you are and what you stand for that even failure feels temporary, because it is. Pain is temporary. Defeat is temporary. The only thing that can destroy you permanently is surrender. That's why the unbreakable man refuses to quit. He doesn't get weaker from failure, he gets hardened by it. He collects lessons, not losses. Every time life knocks you down and you rise again, a piece of the old you dies, the weaker, softer, doubtful part. And something stronger takes its place. That's the process of becoming unbreakable. It's not about never falling. It's about never staying down. It's about training your mind to see every obstacle as fuel, every setback as strategy, every pain as preparation. Because the man who can't be broken can't be controlled. The man who can't be controlled can't be stopped. Every man watching this needs to understand one truth: life is not waiting for you. Every second that passes is another piece of time you will never get back. You don't get to restart the game. You only get to play smarter, stronger, and more focused from this moment forward. The wasted years, the missed chances, the regrets, they're not your prison. They're your proof that you can do better. You've seen what doesn't work. Now it's time to become the man who does. You've learned that motivation fades, but discipline remains. That comfort kills ambition, but pain sharpens purpose. That fear isn't your enemy, it's your signal to move. You've seen how men who seek ease grow weaker, while those who embrace struggle grow unstoppable. The difference between the broken and the unbreakable isn't luck, talent, or timing, it's mindset. It's the decision to keep going when the rest of the world slows down. Becoming unbreakable isn't about pretending to be perfect. It's about being relentless. It's about waking up each day with the same fire, even when the world gives you no reason to believe. It's about mastering yourself, your body, your habits, your emotions until you no longer need anyone to push you. Because once you reach that level of self-command, no rejection can discourage you, no failure can define you, and no obstacle can destroy you. This world doesn't reward the men who complain. It rewards the men who act, the men who show up when no one's watching, the men who keep their word even when it hurts, the men who take pain, fear, and chaos and turn it into fuel. That's the man you're meant to become. Not tomorrow, not next month, not when life feels easy, but right now. So stand up. Take responsibility for every part of your life, your health, your habits, your mindset, your mission. Stop waiting for a miracle and become one. No more wasted years, no more excuses, no more hiding behind comfort. You've got one life, and the clock is ticking. Make it count. Because the man who refuses to break becomes the man who can't be beaten.